This is a quick video about how to analyze the results that you get from a Google form. What I want you to do right now is I want you to go to our ELA course. I want you to click on Unit 2. Do this with me, please. Click on the folder Alternate Forms of Evidence. And then I want you to go down and click on the assignment called the Google Form Results Data Analysis Assignment. What you're going to do is you are going to make a copy of this link and move it into your ELA Unit 2 Google folder. So please go ahead and pause the video and do that now. When you're finished, what you should have is a sheet that looks a lot like this. Okay, so I'm going to go back here and I'm going to take a look at the actual directions for the assignment. So it tells me to open the Google form that you created, not the live version, but the version that you can edit, and click on the Responses tab. So here is a survey that I gave so that I could model for you what we wanted to do. This is a consumers prefer survey, and what we were trying to figure out or do research on was how adults prefer consuming information. So do they like infographics or presentations or tweets or commercials or whatever it happens to be? So my directions told me to go to the Responses tab. So I'm going to click on the Responses tab. Here you can see that I got 66 responses for the Google form that I put on my blog. And here is what the graph looks like. What's awesome about Google Forms is that it takes all of that information, all of that data that you received, and it puts it into a really usable form. Okay. So what you want to do is when you have this, you're going to use snipping tools. So I'm going to click my Windows button. Well, I'm going to type snip. I'm going to grab snipping tool. I'm going to click new, and I am going to actually snip a picture of my results. Click Control C to copy it, and I'm going to go over here to this Google form results data analysis assignment, and in the summary section, I'm going to paste my picture. Okay, so that's your first step. You are actually going to do this for all 5 of the questions that you have put on your survey. Okay, so once you have a picture here, when we are analyzing something, our goal is to go ahead and break it down and to figure out what is really important from each of pieces of information that we got. So again, we're just trying to figure out how is the information I received important? Why is it significant? And so you're going to go through 4 steps to do these: a summary, a conclusion, an action, and a potential outcome. And for each, you can see that I have an example over here that we'll reference. So for a summary, essentially what you need is the picture of your question and like a 1-sentence statement about your graphic that you can see. So as I'm looking at this, and if your picture is too small, you can always flip back here. But as I am looking at these different things, how is what I am looking at significant, or what can I figure out from this? When I look at this, the short informational videos, websites, news articles, things like that are kind of the bigger pieces here, but the biggest one by far are these short informational videos. So the summary statement that I might write would just be that people prefer short informational videos or shorter pieces of information when they are trying to learn something new. Okay, so there's my summary statement. For conclusions, what you need to do is you need to figure out, okay, what is significant about this and how is it going to change how I think about this? So if you look over here, this is an example from years ago when I used to do a blogging competition, and students answered whether or not they might like a blogging competition, and you can see what their results were here. But a conclusion is something that I think in my head, but that I don't necessarily, I can't point to the answer directly in what I'm looking at. So if you're looking at this, my conclusion was students are seeing some of the benefits of great blogging, including having followers or people viewing their blog. Even though not everyone may not be having the same experiences, they want the same end results: more people viewing what they create. Well, that is definitely not written anywhere up here, but it's an assumption that I'm making. So if I go back over here, one of the conclusions that I might draw about my data, and again, I'll go back here where you can see it a little bit bigger, is that it depends on the type of information people are gaining, how they want to receive that information. So it was surprising to me that news articles, which can often be a little bit longer, was the second most popular other than the short informative. And so one of my conclusions could be it depends on the type of information that people want, how they want to consume that information. It's an assumption that I'm making. Okay. Another assumption that I could make is that because I see Instagram posts are here and blogs and different things like that, I'm wondering if, oh, like images, GIFs, memes, people appreciate seeing information from all different sources. And so that could be another assumption that I'm making. Again, you just want to make sure that it's not something that you can directly point to, but it's an assumption that you're making. Okay, so then the next step is actions. And so the point of actions is like based on my conclusions that I've drawn, what actions could I take based on my data? So for you and your survey, many of you may have a question where you're going to want to take an action step of changing something that you're doing on your blog. For me, if I was taking an action statement and I was trying to like increase viewers on my personal blog based on this information, I might post shorter, more engaging posts that include videos and leave it at that. So that would be my action step. It's something that I'm actually going to do. Something else that I could do if I go back and I look at my Google form results are I could, because news articles was that other really high one, I could link popular news articles to my posts to support what I'm saying. And so I could do it that way. Again, they're action steps I need to take. If I was going to do it for my blogging competition, you can take a look and see what those examples are there. And then the last thing are potential outcomes. And so when you think about potential outcomes, think of it as in, like, if I take these action steps, then these things could result. So one of my potential outcomes is if I post shorter, more engaging posts that include videos, and if I link popular news articles, I could increase the number of viewers on my blog. That is a potential outcome. That's something that might happen as a result of my actions. Another thing is that I could get better at saying what I need to say in a shorter amount of time. And so that's something that maybe I need to work on if my posts are too long or things like that. You can see over here what my examples would be for students in that blogging competition. So that's what I want you to do. If you have made it all the way through this video and you watched it and you understand what we're talking about, then your assignment is to actually only do all of this process for 2 of the 5 questions on your Google survey. So thank you for watching the whole thing, and I hope it made sense. Make sure to submit. So when you are finished, make sure that you go back to the Google form assignment. Yours will have a submit button over here. Submit that assignment, and then you'll be done. Thanks so much, guys. Let us know if you have any questions.